So there's a video going around from the General Supervisor of the largest black Pentecostal church in the world, the Church of God in Christ, where the head woman in charge, I'll call her, is talking about men who are gay but want women as cover girls. It's an older video, but for some reason it's going viral on Twitter, and I happen to have put my opinion in it, and now my own community is frying me. We're going to talk about it in detail when I come back. Welcome to the V. Terrell Hill Show. I come live every single day, Monday through Monday at 5 o'clock. We talk about more serious matters, but to be honest with you, I didn't even have enough time to get the show together today because I was too busy fussing on Twitter about this video that we're going to go over in a minute. I don't think the video is bad, but it does beg the question, is the black church homophobic? Or does the black church, how can I say it, maybe have a standard that they live by or choose to live by? Like, just because you don't believe in something, don't mean you're against it. Prime example, I don't believe that the government should be controlling, that's a bad example. I'm gonna just leave it like I said it. And so, is the black church homophobic, specifically the Church of God in Christ, because that's where this video came from, or was she just regurgitating the standards of the church? I don't think just because a church does not believe that God agrees with homosexuality that they could be homophobic. Ask me how I know? Because my parents are black Pentecostals, pastors, and they don't believe that God, I don't even know how to say this. I probably need to get them on the line. But they love me. I don't know. Anyway, let's get into it, y'all. All right, here is the video, and then we're going to talk about it. Hold on. Did I even say welcome to the V. Terrell Hill Show? Did I say that already? I didn't create any notes today because it's not like a real show. I just didn't have time because I've been fussing on Twitter. Anyway, we're just going to get to the video. Here we go.
Girls. You know that young man is gay. He wants you on his arm to convince everybody else. You don't have to stoop to be a cover girl. Leaves you alone. He's using you. You don't have to succumb to the tactics and trials and schemes of the devil. You are not.
Wow. Golly. So again, this happened, I don't know when the women's convention was. I'll probably have to call my mother. And I might get my mom on the phone here. But, okay, so Carolyn on YouTube says she tried it. Let me get her picture up real quick. Here is what I took out of that video, okay? What I took out of that video is she was warning church women, beware of the closeted gay man that does not love you, but only is marrying you to keep his cover. We call them beards. And my question is, what is wrong with that? I don't consider that homophobic at all. Now, if you're watching this on Facebook or Twitter and you want me to see your comments, you have to come to YouTube where I can read your comments. Now, Carolyn on YouTube says she was fussing at them. Well, Carolyn, who was she fussing at? Fussing at the women? I mean, and in my opinion, I think the women need to be fussed at because how you know that man ain't gay? how do you not know that man is gay? All that Holy Ghost, all that praying, all that Jesus love, and long skirts and stockings and and you don't know that man likes penis? No, I'm about to get tickled. I'm just confused. Okay? Like, I have just never believed that women really did not know their spouse was gay. I just don't believe it. Okay, let's see what the comment says. The woman in her delivery can come off as homophobic. It's not what she says, it's the delivery, old bag. Okay, all right, that's fair. But for those like me, and let me talk about the gay community real quick. All I said was I did not think it was homophobic. In the 50 seconds she was speaking, it did not come across as homophobic because listen to me. As someone that is a gay black man and used to be, I've pastored and been in the church and assisted and stuff, I know the damage. What am I about to say? Uh-oh, I'm about to get in trouble, but it is what it is. I know the damage to the female when they assume their husband is gay or straight and he's not, and he's sleeping around. Why? Because I've slept with some of these married men before. I have seen it firsthand, the damage. I mean, if we're just going to keep it a buck, if we're just going to keep it real on this platform, these men will smile up in their wife's face and then go hang around their mentees. Go hang with the brothers of the church. And then have reckless sex and then come back to the wife. And if she dares question, what are you doing? Is you out of order? How dare you accuse me? And let me tell y'all women something, just in case y'all don't look it up. Why would y'all let me get in front of this microphone without notes? Carolyn, you might have to pull me in, okay? I might as well just let it rip. Let me say this because some women, especially if they're raised in the church, can be a little naive, and maybe some of you that's not in the church. Just because your husband is sleeping with you does not make him straight. You know how I know? I'm a gay man and I slept with a woman before. And it don't make me, don't make him, hold on. Yeah, just because he slept with you, female, don't make him straight. Because I, as a gay man, have slept with a woman before. It didn't change me. And I enjoyed it. I did it 3 or 4 times. Would like to do it again. It just ain't right. I can't be leading these ladies on. But I have slept with a church man before and then went to go meet him and his wife. And that's why I think people, and I think this is dangerous. So I think in this regard, what is her name? Mother McCoo Lewis, Barbara McCoo Lewis, is right. She's absolutely right. Women stop, especially church women, stop letting these men use you. Cosmic Carter says, wow, Carolyn got the It's the truth. If I did not live it myself, all right, let me go further. The same female I slept with, I love her dearly to this day. We would have made a great couple and have had some beautiful kids together. But when I was sure about my sexuality, I told her, I said, listen, I don't want to lead you on anymore. So we're going to have to just part ways. We can be friends. And she said, no, we can work it out. But I knew within my heart that I was truly a gay man. But I could have used her, married her, and until I got caught, or I wasn't going to bring a disease home because I'm not loose like that. I have personal responsibility. But I know I would have hurt her because I would have cheated on her. And I was an elder in the church. I was a whole elder and a pastor in the church, and I lived a straight life and dated some of the church women. And the reason why I did not touch them or go past the limits was because they thought I was the saved, sanctified, devout man of God. And the reality was I just did not like women. So leave Mother Barbara McCoo Lewis alone. Now, let me say this. I don't know what she said in the rest of the message, but let's play it again real quick. Let's play it one more time. We're going to play it one more time. Y'all, here it is.
Girls. You know that young man is gay. You alone. He's using you. You don't have to succumb.
Now let me break in. That's where she got it wrong. On the wedding night, he is going to perform. I don't know, these new gays is different from these old gays. These new gays will stick you and then go get stuck. Again, ask me how I know. So my issue with the gay community with this clip is sometimes we get so trigger happy, we create these false flags. Hey, Robert, how you doing, man? We create these false flags that they're not the real issue. And then let me ask the gay community this. Why are y'all mad at me for wanting to protect women that are being duped by closeted church men? Because when I would respond to these hateful comments, the responses that I got because of my comment, after I was trying to tell these men, listen, I know the black church has a deep-seated homophobia in it. But in this case, we need to create space for these women who have been made victim by men who would rather cheat, lie, steal, and be deceptive than accept themselves in the church that is antiquated as an old rusty fork from Benjamin Franklin days. And in between this war between men who will not love themselves properly and the church that will not budge is women that are catching HIV, that are having children and building their whole lives with men that divorced them 15 years later, that are being embarrassed when church bloggers put sex videos out of her husband after she sacrificed as the first lady and gave all, and the only thing she has left is her husband's peen and booty spread it throughout and being picked on. So y'all ain't talking about the woman's victimization. Y'all so busy want to protect the gay, and I get it. I'm a gay man and I get it. But every once in a while, we got to put our gun up and shut up and listen to somebody else's story. And that is my issue with the response of this video. Whew. This is why I wanted to write notes, because I knew I was going to fuss and breathe, Vincent. But women should not be a victim to a man who cannot accept his sexuality and to a religious organization that's late and dusty and rusty and don't even matter in the culture. Because if we're going to be honest, the church don't run the culture anymore. Okay, if we're going to be honest, we're going to have the conversation, let's have the church is dry. And I ain't talking about, we had a good time. I'm talking about the church that has just as much as effectivity as my broken pinky fingernail in the culture and how it moves the conversation. They're old, outdated, not relatable, bad systems. Uh-oh. Hold on, Vincent. Breathe. Carolyn, why you let me come up here without my notes? That's why I agree, Ms. McCoo. That's why I'm in alignment with Jamal Harrison Bryant's desire to get into the cannabis industry. Because that is a new way of outreach. So, do I agree with... Do I agree? Let's see. Wow, Vincent, you're going there. No, but let's be honest, though. One thing that you guys got to know about me is I live in honesty. That's why I don't mind telling my story. I live in honesty. And I love the church. I am the media ministry director at a local ministry because I want the church to do well. And so I'm going to do my part in pushing the limit as much as I can. But you can't fix nothing if you won't be honest to the space and place that something is. And a lot of times the church sounds just as antiquated and powerless as the Republican conservatives nowadays. The church sometimes can position themselves in ignorant spaces just as bad as MAGA folk. You think I'm lying? Watch this. Hold on, watch this right here.
I'll tell you my priority. Protect religious liberty, protect people of faith, and protect Americans who believe in the true meaning of marriage. I hope and pray that my colleagues will find the courage to join me in opposing this misguided and this dangerous bill. I yield back.
Gentlewoman.
That sounds like she could have been the speaker of the Friday Night Women's Convention. So that's that. Let me say this in my last and final point, and then I'm done for the day. These grown gay men in the church are not victims. Why? They could leave. They can leave. You can leave. Because listen, especially if you're screwing anyway, if you are continually having sex with men and you have secretly embraced your sexuality and you tell me that God sees all things and know your heart, then God sees that you are screwing that man and know what you really like. So by staying, you are causing this eternal psychosis, this double personality. You need counseling. Now, let me tell you, I'm not lying. You need counseling. How are you going to be gay and sit up under, for 20 years, anti-gay preaching and tell me you were in your right mind? You hate yourself. You hate yourself. You're not happy. I mean, you shouting and you dancing and you speaking in tongues. It's a double-edged sword because you hate the fact that you really want to love God, but you got this thing in you, but you really love men, and then you enjoy being with men, and then when you go home by yourself, you feel guilty for enjoying being with men when you love God. Then you go to church and you dance and shout and pray and fast all over it versus being honest with yourself, because God, if anything, is truth. If anything God is, he's truth and love. Truth and love. Truth and love. And you're lying, but you are connected to God. You hate yourself, but love. don't even make sense. Oh, okay, I'm fussing again. It don't make sense. And instead of just embracing yourself and understanding, like, tell me how the preacher can be forgiven for sleeping around, but the gay man can't be forgiven for sleeping around. The straight preacher can, the gay man can't. Steal a little money. Look, all right, prime example. Jamal Harrison Bryant and Brian Carn is probably one of the most well-known black preachers who have slept with some of everybody and been caught, but still is able to be effective. But then you as a gay man can't get caught up. That ain't got nothing to do with God and Jesus. That is a proof that you're in an antiquated, hierarchical, what's the word I want to use? There's a word I want to use when men get involved. Misogynistic institution. Let me tell you, I thank God for my parents. Thank God for my parents. My parents have embraced me. And they allow me to be the spirit being that I am and be a homosexual, while at the same time holding on to their beliefs. And I think the church can find, if me and my parents can do that, the church can find that sweet spot where they don't have to damn somebody to hell, but let me tell you this, because you're losing your good folk to AIDS and HIV. The black church should be the biggest proponents to PrEP. You look these niggas in their face and say, if you're screwing men, sign up, because we're giving away PrEP for free with free blood tests every 3 months to make sure that you stay alive while you're going through that journey. Now that's relevance. I shouldn't have to go downtown. I shouldn't have to search and Google this organization and that organization and this and that when there's a whole clutter of black gay men in the church, and half of them don't even know a thing called PrEP exists. There is a problem in the messaging. And I say, come on. Don't get left, oh, you're already left behind. Stop being left behind. But again, let me go for the record and say that this lady here was right. This lady was right, y'all. I think those church women needed that kind of rebuking to wake them up. And let me say this again, just because that man is sleeping with you, don't make him straight. Because I, as a gay man, broke my bed. I never broke a bed having sex with a man, but I sure broke that bed having sex with that woman. I said, clump, I picked her up, brought her to the other side of the bed, and kept on going. And I'm just as gay as a gay can be. All right, y'all, that's my show. The problem, Carolyn, with my nose is I got to get my beard cut so the hairs be turning up, so I don't be picking my nose. It be bothering my western name. Listen, I love y'all so much. Let me change this screen real quick. Hold on 1 second. Thank you, Chandra Ross. I appreciate that. I really do. Now, I really am not. I talked about Jamal Harrison Bryant yesterday, and I'm talking about this today. I am not about to turn this to no church gossip channel. The devil be damned, and me too. I'm not about to do that. And don't y'all bring this back up if it turns out. I want to stay way on the side of the track. But them gays was coming after me. And when I tweeted, I told them, y'all, I'm gay too. But they didn't care. And the part that made me upset in my closing is when I explained to them specifically, create space for the women that are victim, they didn't care. And we can't be so focused on one thing, we miss the bigger picture, all right? Now, That being said, thank you for watching the V-Terrell Hill Show. I come live every single day at 5 p.m. If you don't want to watch the entire live where I'm reading comments and stuff, the day, at least 24 hours later, I cut up the segment so you can watch the meat of what I'm saying. If you have found value in this video, please like, share, subscribe, and comment. I am appreciative when you do that. My contact information is in the description box of Facebook and YouTube. If you're on Twitter watching this, you bastards, giving me hell today, you have to come to Facebook or YouTube to see my information. Hold on. I still want to know if the man you screwed and then go with him to meet his wife has been out there. Let me say this, and I mean this with my whole heart, mind, body, and soul. You never out someone. Never. And let me tell you one of the main reasons why you never out someone with their sexuality. Because if they have not truly embraced themselves, and let's just say they are in a space of hate, and then you go for whatever reason to out them, you could cause suicide, Now, that brings up the question, what about the wife? I think that's a case-by-case scenario, to be honest with you. In this case, damn them all to hell. I said what I said. All right. Listen, I need to get off this show. I need to get off this show because when you put a microphone in my face and a camera, I'm liable to say anything. But yeah, Carolyn, in all seriousness, it's a case-by-case scenario. If I thought that the wife was currently in danger, now, Carolyn, that's more of the truth. That's more of the truth, and that's the truth. And if you guys are on Facebook or Twitter, I am responding to comments right now on YouTube. That's the truth. No, Chandra Ross, that's not always the case. Men can be masters of manipulation and gaslighting. Let me put this back up since we're talking. Like, let's just say if I'm married, right, and my wife is suspecting that I am a closeted gay man, I can say and do things to make her look like a fool, to make her be like, I can't believe you think about me like that. That must be something with you because I would never. And some men are masters, especially, now watch this. Remember, in context of this show, we're talking about the church. And because, in my opinion, the church is still rooted and grounded in misogyny, the man is the head of the house. The man's words and voice has authority. So it's super easy for the man to usurp his authority over that woman and make her feel like she's being insecure or she's not thinking straight or she's not well, when the reality, she is well in reality. And so there are certain cases where the relationship dynamic is not equal. And a lot of times that's why these men marry certain kind of women, weaker women, so that they can freely move back and forth without being, because how dare you question the man of God? Yeah. Putting the mic back in front. So it's so layered and there's so much nuance to it. That's what, but see, maybe those that are being upset on Twitter right now, I'm probably still getting quote tweets going on with me. Don't understand that my response is a full circle response because I've been inside of it, outside of it, I watched it, I've seen it. And maybe they're just mad because another church person is talking about gay stuff. Robert says, and some women are not ready for that type of information. And see, that, Carolyn, that's the reality, Carolyn. I didn't want to say that because Robert said, some women just don't want to hear that. You'll make yourself an enemy. Yeah, okay, so Carolyn, so you're responding, right? I don't think I would ever be ready. That's a lot. Yeah. Yeah. And I heard somebody say this one time, and I'm not going to say I agree with it, but I ain't going to say I disagree with it. It is not my job to keep a happy home. It ain't my house. All right, Life Nation says churches need DL. Oh, my God. That's so true, Life Nation. Churches need DL culture education courses added to their... Listen. As a gay man, if I had something like that I could go to anonymously when I was an elder, a pastor, a deacon, or a minister in the church, I probably would not need as much counseling as I need right now, in all seriousness. And I remember my father asking me, he said, son, why didn't you just come to us? And I said, Dad, now I get now, but back then, there was no space to come to anybody, because you have to remember that it's not just a heaven or a hell situation, but it's, especially in my day, it's a cultural situation where even in the mainstream culture, being gay was frowned upon. So it wasn't that I was just a fake in the church, but then I kept it real on the streets. The streets was just as toxic as the church was to come out at the time. Well, Carolyn, I was thinking about that. Carolyn says, but since they're DL, would they attend? What if there was an anonymous, what if a local church set up an anonymous program where men that are struggling with their sexuality could at least get information on how to protect themselves, maybe counseling on how to come out to their wives, you know, things that would possibly hold them accountable so that they don't crash and burn. Why ain't this thing stretched all the way? Hold on for a second. There we go. Carol, it would be nothing in church is anonymous. You say nothing in church is anonymous. But in my opinion, though, Robert, I think any local church that would go through the lengths to have that kind of anonymous program, someone in leadership cares enough to protect the people that's reaching out. Yeah. I remember going on a cruise and met up with this church boy, and he was a young fella too. And I said to him, I just started asking him questions. Hold on, when I say met up with, no, let me be clear. It was not a hookup. We just happened to be on the same cruise. And I was just trying to get him to see, like, yo, you're going to mess up your life. You keep on going this route you're going. And let me say this. I don't believe you can close yourself up, one part of yourself, and not close all of yourself. And I can't imagine, because I've been out of it for so long. I can't imagine gay men who drive up to the parking lot of the church and then go through this psychological metamorphosis or transformation and play the role and then get back in their car and then let alone the men who, I'm gonna say this and I'm done, let alone the men who hap up, send the wrong nude, let their videos get spread all over social media, and the kind of embarrassment and hurt and shame that they go through. A human should not have to suffer that kind of embarrassment. What made you finally leave? Oh, Lord. Okay, what made me finally leave the church? It was my sexuality. And a lot of people don't. It coincided, it walked along with a transformation that my church was going through. But I remember sitting in my floor 2016, confused because at that point, I was very angry, lashing out, punching walls. Could have been committed to a mental institution. And I went to my counselor, and she said, "Why are you here?" And I said to her, "If I don't get help, I'm going to sabotage all of my dreams." Because what I didn't realize was I wasn't stuffing my sexuality because I was having sex. I was stuffing myself, my personality. My sexuality was not suffering. It was my personality that was suffering. And the kind of church I was raised in did not have room for homosexuality. So if I was going to save my person, I had to walk away from it all. Because in some churches, it's do or die. It's fit in this box or die. And then it took me probably 6 to 7 months of counseling before I ever came out and said, "I'm a gay man." And I remember my counselor said, "Oh, those are your first words." And I said, "What are you talking about, lady? First word? No, baby, no first words." And I honestly didn't know what she meant. And she said, "Those are your first words. You've talked about being gay, but you've never said, 'I am gay.'" And to be honest, if we're going to be honest, I still am working through the conditioning that the church did to me with my sexuality. Where I have to remind myself that expressing and being honest with myself can never be a bad thing. I remember being in church. Why did you ask me that, Chandra? I'm going to say this and I'm done for real, unless y'all ask another question. I remember being in church and my pastor preached, and he was preaching. He said, "And if you only have sex with your wife once a week, you a gay man." And even though I ain't have no wife, I remember sitting on the front row because, I'm super Christian, witnessing, and the embarrassment that came over me because it's like, oh my God, people know I'm gay, people know I'm gay, people know I'm gay. And then what happened with me was I got caught up in someone I met and the church found out, and I was a youth pastor, and one of the young people came to me and was like, "Minister Hill, I heard you was gay." Now, mind you, I'm struggling in my soul right now. I am going through it. I'm going through it internally because I hadn't embraced myself, and externally because the pastor, listen, let me tell you how dumb the pastor was. He heard about it, and before he even talked to me about it, he called my parents. And so I get home, and my uncle says, "Your parents want you to call them." Oh, no, what happened was, after church, the pastor calls me to his office, and we're talking about it, and he says, "And I called your parents." Who gave you the right? And so my mom, bless my mama, I get on the phone with my mama. She's like, "I heard you was at the gay bar." I said, "Mama, it's not a bar, it's a club." And then she asked the question that most black moms, maybe white moms do it too. She want to know who was doing the bending, as if it mattered. And then at the same time, I don't know why I'm telling this story. Then at the same time, I had got a urinary tract infection, and you could not make me, that was a different time. Hold on, I'm telling a different story. I would have cussed his ass out if I was your parents. He would have gotten these words. But you know what? I didn't know, Carolyn, that he misstepped until I got older and was able to look at it. Because I don't even think I was 21 yet when that happened. I probably was like 18, 19 years old. I was still trying. There was no one around me that took care of me. The young lady that walked up to me and said, "Minister Hill, I heard you was gay." So I asked her, I said, "Well, if I am, then what?" And she says to me, "You're going to burn hell wide. No, you're going to bust hell wide open." And I remember walking away feeling so defeated on the inside. Because you could, listen, I got saved at 14. I was preaching at 15. I got ordained an elder at 20-something. I was pastoring by 21. I loved God and still do love him to death. I wasn't one of those ones that, I was well down my journey before I started messing around with people's husbands, child. So that's my story. That's my story. And I think that's why I'm so passionate about it, because I made it out. I made it out with my whole head. I'm one of the fortunate ones that have a mom and dad. I told y'all just yesterday, I was crying about how my mother and my father love me and protect me and pray over me and really parent me. And I think because I made it out of a lot of different things, and I was lucky enough to have parents that currently support me. I feel like I need to fuss and speak on behalf of those who don't have that. Now, with that being said, let me say this. In the description of Facebook and YouTube, if you're on Twitter, you have to come to Facebook and YouTube. If you are in the church and you are a DL man and you just need a safe place, you need a safe space to have the conversation with somebody that clearly don't care. Email me at info@vterrellhill.com and put in the subject line free consultation. You don't have to tell me any information digitally. Put in the subject line free consultation. Everybody puts free consultation, and I've had many of these. So you putting free consultation will not mean anything to anybody on my end. I'll send you a link. We'll set the appointment. And I'm not trying to create a plan for you to come out. I don't want you to walk my steps and be honest, but you do need somebody to talk to. You need somebody that's been where you've been and can help you internally. Forget external. Forget what they say. You need loving on the inside of you. It is here. I'll write it in the what's the name, Sandra. Hold on one second. It's a bit confusing because there's so many L's in it. There you go. But you need somebody to talk to. I will be your sounding board, and I will help you. I will walk you through it. You're welcome. I will walk you through it because you need somebody to talk to. And that's probably why, y'all skip for a second, I need to talk to somebody that's looking at this. That's probably why you're so sex crazed. You're trying to sex away that emptiness in your heart because you have had everything and everybody but yourself. You're chasing God, and they're telling you you can't have them because of who you are. And you're just having sex and sex and sex and being destructive to your life and to everybody's life around you because you are not missing your mind. You're not missing your soul. You're just missing self. You're not cursed. God is not against you, and the devil don't own you. You just need self-love. Email me, info@vterrellhill.com. Put in the subject line free consultation, and we'll talk. All right, guys, every single day of my life, until God or me say otherwise, I'll be here at 5 o'clock or 5:15. It's according. And we're going to talk about stuff just like this. Thank y'all, Sandra, Cairo, Robert, Life Nation, some of you guys that are just, y'all are my family and my people. I love y'all. Those of y'all that watch on Facebook and Twitter, I see the views, I see the comments. Thank y'all so much. If you have found value in this video, do me a favor. Please like, share, subscribe, and comment. Thank you so much, and I will see y'all tomorrow. Hold on one second so I can leave good. I will see y'all tomorrow at 5 o'clock.